City of Mullins administration and council members want to keep you informed. Please join us now for the City of Mullins council meeting.
6 o'clock, and I'd like to start off as we usually do with the Pledge of Allegiance. Chief, Fire Chief, would you mind leading us in the pledge? And Pat, you want to lead us in prayer?
I can.
Okay.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Well, Heavenly Father, we thank you for those of us who have assembled here this evening, and we hope that whatever decision we make is that to benefit the citizens of the Mullins community and help us to be on one accord. In your name we pray. Amen.
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 The local media has been informed of the date and time of this meeting pursuant to the South Carolina Freedom of Information Act. First item on the agenda, or the third item on the agenda, is the approval of the agenda. And I need a motion for approval.
So moved.
I have a motion for approval of the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. The ayes have it, and the motion carries. Item number 4 is the consent agenda. Under the consent agenda, the following items. Item number A, approval of minutes, September 10, 2019 City Council meeting. Item number B, approval of minutes, September 19th, 2019 Finance Committee meeting. Item number C, approval of minutes, October 1st, 2019. That's a special City Council meeting. And item number D, approval of monthly bills. I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
I have a motion for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Motion carries. Item number 5, under new business. This is the second reading of ordinance number 19-008, an ordinance to ratify the sale of real estate known as tax parcel number 409-04-08 in the City of Mullins.
I have a question about this property. I missed the first reading because I was out of town. And so I'm not too sure about this because after I read this and then I received this letter, it seems to kind of coincide with us getting an opinion from the Attorney General's office, and I can't comfortably vote on this until we have resolved this issue as to whether we're going to allow them to proceed with an opinion from the state.
Okay, that's your opinion, and you certainly entitled to it.
I'm in agreement with Pat, what Pat just said.
All right.
I prefer waiting until we got everything resolved before we make a decision on anything, especially this piece of property here, because everything has not been resolved.
My concern, my biggest concern is economic development, and I don't know whether with the sale of this property, anything up that would, help us with economic development.
Let's repeat that. I'll make sure I understood what you said.
Okay. When I was elected to office, my biggest concern, was trying to get economic development for the City of Mullins.
That's we all.
And I was just afraid if we try to hold this up, with the sale of the property and all, it might affect the city in a negative way as far as that economic development. So that's the only reason I think we should go ahead and vote for it.
Well, I think that there seems to be an awful lot of concern about this piece of property, and there seems to be I know one comment was made to me at the last meeting that a lot of underhanded stuff had been going on, and I can assure you that there's nothing underhanded that has ever been going on here. The only thing we have ever tried to do is do what we were doing for the process of bringing economic development into this town. Our attorney seems to have a real concern about it, and he's the one that reached out to the Attorney General's office, and our attorney also, and if you permit me to say what I'm going to say without any interference, let me just put the cards on the table. In a meeting, our attorney told us that they contacted him out of concern. They, being Tie and Timber Technologies, contacted him out of concern about the sale. And it's a matter of record. I'm here to tell you, I know for a fact they did not contact him. He contacted them. Oh, Jesus. No, oh, Jesus what? I'm just stating, permit me please to finish, and then you can say whatever you want to.
I would think you need Jesus with your conversation, so I'll say it again. Oh, Jesus, now go ahead and complete it.
Anyway, I know for a fact that that he contacted the attorneys for Tie and Timber, and then they subsequently had another conversation. Now, Mr. Corley has all of a sudden brought all this to light, but now I want to bring something to light as well, and it concerns all of us as council members. It concerns every one of us. Do you remember when Senator Williams came and told us that we needed to buy a 2.53 acre piece of property in order to facilitate the sale of that property, and we all agreed to do it?
I remember.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? This issue hasn't even been resolved, and I thought
it's all part of it.
Wait a minute now. The issue is not resolved. The issue is not resolved. Since you want to make the public aware of what we are doing, this issue is not resolved.
It is not resolved.
It's not resolved, so no, we can't do no reading tonight. Approve no reading until we get the issue resolved.
That is your vote.
But for you to come in here and want to point out when we had already agreed that this should be something we discuss in executive sessions until we get it resolved. So why would you bring it up today? Why would you even put it?
Because I want the public to know.
I want the public to know that we need to get this issue resolved.
All right, let me finish, and you say whatever you want to. For whatever reason, Mr. Corley was asked to facilitate the gift of that 2.53 acres by Gildan to the city of Mullins. They offered to give it to us, and he was sent an email asking him to get it done and to let us know. For whatever reason, he never did, and it cost the city and the county $50,000. And I have it in an email here where he was asked, did he ever get it done? And his answer was no. Now, I don't know what kind of issue is going on, and it's so sad that it is going on, but we've got a company who has been working on this piece of property for 2 years and trying their best to get an industry started. And the only thing we get is stonewalling and stonewalling and stonewalling. And Mr. Pagel, Mr. Jim Pagel, is here tonight. He is a principal in the company. And I think that it's only fair for him to address council and let us hear from him. But I will only do so if council permits this. I'll be as fair as I know how to be.
Go ahead, Pat.
Okay, now, was our city attorney involved in this transaction? And see, I don't remember us doing an ordinance to sell city property.
We did it at the very beginning. We have a copy of it.
Not to sell, I don't remember that.
It is a sale lease ordinance that allowed us to do all those things, and we have it on record.
It was the
Question?
the ordinance with Mr. Taylor.
With Mr. Taylor.
Who? Yes, with Mr. Taylor.
Mr. Taylor and Mr. What's your name again, sir? Pago. Our form of government is council mayor form of government, which means anything transactions are done, we are supposed to be involved in it. And at this point, we are not involved in it. We are told the after effect. So if you would just give us opportunity until we get this resolved. I'm sorry he's going on and speaking for us. This could have been resolved had we all gotten together to know what was going on. So I would hope that whenever you get ready to do the whatever it is that you want to do, please make sure you come and address us. Today, we're not going to, I would hope that we're not going to pass the second reading until we get everything resolved. We don't have everything resolved right now. Everything is not resolved.
Councilwoman Davis, he has been here and spoken to us before. We were all in
Let me repeat. I don't care if you've been here 15 times before. This issue has not been resolved. We just got a letter today that we need to look into and address and follow up on before we even address this, if you don't mind. Now, the opportunities for economic development, we always in need of that. And I don't think another 30 days is going to hurt. If we do it the right way, had it first been done the right way, we wouldn't be here with this conversation now.
It was done the right way.
And on top of this, we need to resolve this issue. Before, and now whoever told you that it was all right for you to come tonight and we're going to pass it and go on, I would hope that we finish resolving it. I just got a letter in the mail today and I don't think it's fair for us to go on any further until we get this letter resolved.
Mr. Pagel, come on. Come on up here, please.
It's a pleasure, but I wish the circumstances were slightly different of my appearance before you all again. And I hope I can answer some questions and maybe bring us to a point where there's a greater level of comfort. And it may take a united effort here of Mr. Corley, the entire council, and whatever remains of the community. And so we did appear in front of the city council, and I don't have the exact date. But Senator Williams, Julie Norman, the economic development coordinator for Marion County, myself. The county's been also very involved in this. Buddy Collins and the mayor, city manager. And we did appear in front of the council. I do believe that day you might not have been present. I
still read the minutes.
Right.
I read the minutes even if I'm not here. My question is, would you please give us time to respond to this letter we just got?
Because our attorney, who represents the city of Mullins, should have been included in any transaction with the sale of city property. And this is the thing that we are trying to resolve, because we have a council mayor form of government. And if we're going to do it right, we need to do it right, and we don't need to set a precedence of doing otherwise. And that's the only problem that I have with it. That's the problem I have with it. And we do need to resolve it, and I think we need to get this opinion from Columbia before we move any further. Because there are a lot of questions that I have, but I won't ask them all, but we need to do this before we move forward. And we want economic development here. And we're not telling you we're not going to do this, but we need to resolve this. And when we resolve this, I feel like we can move further. And that's my opinion.
Well, what I'd like to ask the council then, we have invested close to $650,000 on this project today. Every day that we are not in production or near production is costing us a lot of money. The plant right now requires very substantial reconstruction. We plan on ordering about $2 million worth of equipment to ultimately, we hope, employ between 50 and 100 citizens of this area. primarily Mullins. Now, I've been waiting, I was prepared 3 weeks ago to start spending $2 million on equipment. When this came to light, Mr. Corley had reached out to our attorney indicating that he was going to initiate this situation. So at that point, I could not go forward in spending this money to buy this equipment. Now we're at this point, there's nothing underhanded, there's nothing that does not stand up to the light of day that's transpired to this point. If I understand your main objection, and it may be incorrect, my understanding of his main objection with this issue is that an outside counsel was engaged to handle the transaction. The transaction, every element of the transaction, to the best of my understanding, has been public, available to anybody, Senator Williams, the county. I mean, none of these things would have gone forward had it not been completely transparent. Now, I can't speak to how communication is conveyed in and among the city council members, but for us, we're already behind schedule.
Yes, sir.
So I'm trying to buy this equipment so we can be in production in January. Well, what I'd like to ask you, if this takes 2 months, 3 months, 4 months.
I don't think it's going to take that long. I think we can get this resolved this week. But what I'm saying to you, I apologize. I don't apologize because I'm sorry you had to spend that money without getting all the resources in order. The question is, we still need to resolve this issue before we go any further. Now, don't try. Now, I know you're going to go out and probably say, I don't care anything about economic development. I do. I'm just as concerned about it as you are. But we're going to have to do it the right way. I wish this was the only issue. This is one of many.
Would you like to state what the issues are? No, would you like to state what the issues are if it's one of many?
We need to stick to this.
We need to stick to this. I would like for you just... I just got the letter just now. And I need to find out more about this letter.
Well, perhaps the city council can initiate ordinance to unwind this entire deal, and we can go somewhere else.
Well, you know what? I apologize for you not. I apologize for you not understanding our form of government.
Probably unwind it now and go somewhere else because we can't wait. We're so behind schedule. We've already burnt through money that we had not planned for or anticipated. If we have to wait 30 plus days to move forward and ordering equipment, because it's not as simple as going to like a Walmart and buying equipment off shelf. Much of this equipment is custom made. So if we wait another 30 days, that pushes us back much more than 30 days.
Okay.
And so will you initiate an ordinance to unwind this deal? You can have your plant back, you can have your property back, and we will go. We actually looked at other locations in different parts of this state and North Carolina to locate. And we came here because of the extreme hospitality of the mayor, the senator, the county, and I believe the city council. So we need to now unwind this deal and go back because we don't have 30 days. We don't have 40 days. We're already so behind schedule. So would you please initiate an ordinance to undo this?
No, I'm not going to do any of that because I'm just asking you, let us give it, had it done properly.
Are you comfortable for us to seek damages from the city for this?
Look, you already got what you got. Was it going to hurt?
Yes.
When we get this resolved, we'll be able to tell everything we need to know. I got the letter today, and I'd like to find out what's more is going on. And if you knew this 3 weeks ago, why didn't you come and address us then?
I have something I would like to say. Senator Williams was here, and Julie Norman, our county economic director, and they were very much, in my opinion, in favor of this action that we,
Councilman Kitchen, I am excited about
Councilman Kitchen has the floor.
I'm talking to
Councilman Kitchen has the floor. Councilman Kitchen has the floor.
Mr. Kitchen, I heard everything you just said. I'm saying that could we just wait? I want economic development just like you do. But Kent Williams
I have a tendency, Councilwoman, from what you said in this meeting today, it's not what's showing when it comes to economic development.
You must be out of your mind. My job is careers.
It may be, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're concerned.
I would hope that
I trust Senator Williams.
Let me read this letter and get with the state tomorrow, and then I'll know where I'm going. I mean, we got to do it right. We got to do. I'm sorry you got caught up in it. I'm very sorry you got caught up in this. I say it again, I'm sorry you got caught up in this. And I understand your desire to go ahead and get started. I understand your frustration that you're going to have to probably sue us because we're not. But I would hope that we can get this issue resolved, because if we let this go, this won't be the first thing. If we let this go, it won't be the first thing.
I have tremendous respect for where Madam Councilwoman's coming from.
Do you?
Had we not had this, you stood in this very chamber.
That's not
That's the point, sir. I understand you, and I was glad that you did. You understand? You don't understand. That's not where we are now. We've gone beyond Kent Williams and economic development, introducing you to us with the plan. We got a little issue we need to resolve with the city. And if you just let us resolve this issue, I got the papers today. So I'm assuming everybody else is just going to ignore the papers. But I think we need to address this issue, because if we don't, something else is going to happen.
Councilwoman, you wanted to say something?
My first question is, why was the city attorney not involved?
That's it.
That's what I asked.
That's our question. That's our issue. That's all we're trying to get straight. We're not stopping you. Don't want to stop you. We need the jobs. We need the jobs.
Here, wait a minute,
Go ahead.
please.
Go ahead.
He was going to be involved in it in the final analysis, what was happening.
What I'm saying is, why did we have to hire an outside attorney?
We didn't hire. Joe Cox represented Roger Taylor.
Okay.
And he was doing it all. The real rub is that Joe Cox was paid money.
But
We didn't have
why did we
representation.
have to pay him for our part when we have a city attorney?
Because the deal was falling apart at the end, and we decided to no, we didn't decide anything. Rather than lose this deal in the last minute, I said, then the city will pick up the tab for the lawyer's fees, because it was falling apart and we were going to lose this deal.
Well,
And that's the only thing I'm guilty of, is using that kind of judgment to save an industrial prospect who had been waiting around and waiting around. Nothing I can assure. Look, go after me.
I don't think, excuse me.
Is the business we're trying to bring here requires a certain amount of land.
We haven't even answered Joe Sanders'
I'm sorry,
question.
Councilwoman Sanders.
Was your question
Yes,
answered?
ma'am.
He's answered.
Please. I'm sorry, your question?
Why was our city attorney not involved in it? It was my question.
I can't speak. I can't speak for anybody. I think the mayor may have touched on it. When this piece of property that we needed for this business was available to the city of Mullins and the county of Marion for $0, it is my understanding that for some reason Mr. Corley was unwilling or incapable of.
That's an insult. That's an insult.
No.
That's what I've been.
That's an insult.
I'm sorry, I did not mean.
That's an insult.
No, all I'm speaking of was what I had been told. So
You were also told that Joe Cox was city attorney too, weren't you?
I was not told he was city attorney. I believed that he was representing the city of Mullins.
No.
So from our perspective, we entered into a transaction believing that we were dealing with whoever represented the city of Mullins.
No, sir.
And that's our question today. That's the only reason why we're trying to get it resolved, sir.
When I had this conversation, Mr. Corley sent our attorney a notice with no explanation saying, this is my understanding, your contact information for the South Carolina State Attorney General. There was no explanation of why, what for. Obviously, because he represented himself at that time as the attorney representing the city of Mullins.
Who?
This gentleman right here.
He is our city attorney.
I understand that. I instructed our attorney to contact him so we could understand the issues at hand. When we spoke to him, and again, you are free to step in here. My understanding, your primary issue, and you told me 15 ways that you had no intent or desire to hold up are established in our business here. All you wanted to do is reach some kind of understanding of why Joe Cox was used instead of you. And you promised me that you would not hold up our business. And I explained to you then that we were already behind schedule. And you said, do not worry, this will not be a problem. We will get it through. We will address it appropriately with the city council. And I said, my biggest concern is that I will stand here and exactly what's occurring today will occur. And you guaranteed me that this would not be the case. Here we are.
An ordinance, and that's what I've done.
Yeah.
There are two things. The state law says we have to have an ordinance to sell property.
That's right.
When I contacted your attorney, I asked him to show me a copy of the ordinance, because we didn't have one. That's when I prepared this ordinance to ratify what we have done. But now they've got questions about that.
The original ordinance that was done in the beginning, I contacted Theo DeBose, who was
That's what we want the attorney to do.
I called Theo DeBose, who was our bonding attorney. He works for Hainsworth, Sinclair, Boyd. I think Mr. Corley would admit they're a pretty reputable firm. And he told me that the original ordinance that started with the sale or the lease sale of RLT Holdings would flow throughout this and would stand. That's the opinion that I was given by Hainsworth, Sinclair, and Boyd.
May I ask Mr. Corley, in your opinion, should this transaction be reversed? And should we go back to zero? And should we leave, or should this go forward? So would you be in favor of the city council proposing an ordinance to allow the transaction to go forward, understanding that there will be an investigation?
Everybody wants it to go forward, but we want it to go forward legally. Well, who's going to pay the money we're losing every single day? Are you going to pay the money? Because what we're going to lose is a multitude of what you might have made by representing the city or engaged in the city. We're going to probably lose $50,000 to $100,000 at minimum for this delay. In my opinion, the mayor is acting outside of his authority.
I understand that. That's crystal clear to me. But that's not, we acted, do you believe that Time Timber Technology acted in bad faith at any point?
I don't think you did,
No, that's not what we're saying, sir. The thing of it is, we just want to get the opinion from the state. That's what I want, so we can move forward. We're not trying to hold you up, and I'm sure this can be done, I think this could be done in a matter of days. We're not trying to hold you up. We're not trying to cause you to lose money. But I still say, if he was not there, it should have come back to council, and we should have been allowed the opportunity to make that decision. But he is our attorney. Nobody else represents the city of Mullins but us, unless otherwise told. That's all we're saying.
The council, Councilwoman Davis or Councilwoman Phillips, will you introduce an ordinance? No, I'm just asking a question. And that if for any reason we are not able to complete this transaction, the city of Mullins will indemnify us for our losses by this being postponed 4+ weeks. So I think that's a fair, it's a meeting of the grounds. We won't move forward. I'll buy the equipment, right? I would take on additional risk if you will, because you seem to be very confident. I'm confident. I want to be here. I want to create a business here. I want to create jobs. I want to grow. I want to pay taxes. I want any tangential businesses that will locate here. I want to do it here. I've been working on this now for 1.5 years. I think it's a tremendous community, and I'm very excited to be here. So I'm willing to move forward and let you do your investigation, knowing that maybe down the road.
I don't think you understand.
It's not an investigation. What we're saying, we just want to get the opinion from Columbia so that we will be right. So in the future, that we know what we need to do. We're not trying to hold you up. We're happy you're here. I'm happy you're here. But we just want to get this cleared up with their opinion. That's all we're asking you to allow us to do, and it shouldn't take over 2 weeks. We're not trying to hold you up for 30 days or long. We don't want you to lose any money. I want you to be here, but I just want it done right.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to okay something, if I'm going to say yay, I want to make sure that I'm right, because I'm responsible for District 4 and for the city of Mullins, because that's all we're asking. And we're making it bigger than what it is. We just want to make sure we get this done. I'm sure this could happen in a matter of days, but at this point, I can't just move on with this. You just need to give us a week or two, that's all. That's all I'm asking for.
If you ladies are confident that this will be resolved, and the transaction will go forward, that's really what I need, because that's
yeah. I can give you that, but I'm not going to sign off on it until because this going to happen again. Just like this transaction that we being held up on, which we didn't have to be held up on, that I know you trying to convince me, let me know that you can sue, because if we don't decide to go on this. The sad thing is I'm going to be sued for something I didn't even know anything about. First of all, the mayor had no business going to you with this without addressing us. Anything that goes on, we're supposed to know. The question was asked by Ms. Sanders. Why did we do it without him? Where's the ordinance to show it? Those are two questions that we are asking. You just got caught up in it. I'm very sorry. And nobody don't want no more jobs here than I do. And I know you're just as capable of doing what you're doing, but we would give us some days, a couple of days to find out what's going on here from the state level. That's all I need.
We're just trying to get an opinion, that's all.
And
no investigation.
3 weeks ago, we already decided that this was not going to be a public issue until we got this address, and then we come before public. And it was put on the agenda for the night for Spike to make sure the public know what's going on. So now that they know, would you please let us try to resolve this for what the state said, and then we can move on. You give us a couple of days. How much time can you give us? How many days can you give us?
Well,
you just said you give us.
Like this afternoon, I just spent $36,000 for a piece of equipment to be delivered.
I hate you did that.
But just tell us how many days can you give us to resolve this?
What do you think is fair?
I think if you give us at least 2 weeks, no more than 2 weeks.
All right, can we say can we meet in the middle, like by 1 week from today? Or you're not?
The lady from the Attorney General's office said the mayor has called trying to block him.
No, you are absolutely wrong. You went behind everybody's back and did this. I have every right to find out what was said, and you have misrepresented yourself, Mr. Corley. Yes, you have, and it's shameful that you are our city attorney and you've misrepresented so many things. You misrepresented it when you said they called you.
I never said that. I said
it's on the record, Bob.
I contacted them to find out they had an ordinance. That's where I said.
You said that in the meeting. You got caught in the middle. I'm just sorry.
May I speak?
2 weeks.
As a human
10
being.
days.
As a human being, I would have hoped that this could have been resolved by just people just getting around the table and talking. The way I read this is that my reading of this is that what it's saying is that he would constitute a minority, or so that they wouldn't even look at this unless the majority of the city council feels that this needs to have any further review. I respect, and I really do mean this.
All this I
respect you all very much.
We just want an opinion.
And
Mr. Pagel, just a minute. We're talking about opinions. The Attorney General's office cannot affect any change. And Mr. Corley, would you explain to council what an Attorney General's opinion is and what it does and what it says?
Yes.
It
has no bearing on this, and you know it.
Well, we have a right to make an opinion, though.
Certainly they do.
We just need to move on because it's an opinion. And I need to feel comfortable. There's no doubt. You said let's meet in the middle of the road. You said a week from when?
do you give weekly meetings?
No, we have a monthly, but we do have special meetings.
We can hold on.
Well, what I would like, I think this is kind of like foggy maybe for all of us a little bit. Maybe Mr. Corley can state exactly the answer he wants, because it seems like there's this mist of controversy around this. So, Mr. Corley, what is the specific?
No, ain't no controversy.
I don't think you need to put Bob Corley on the spot right now. You came to talk about.
Hold just 1 minute. The clerk.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
The clerk wants to.
Can we meet next Friday? We have jury trials on next week. Friday would be.
This Friday coming?
Friday of next week.
That's fine.
Here's the issue. We have 6 people here. We haven't had a vote on this, and we can still have a vote. And it is still within the parameters of this council to vote on this tonight. And I'd be damned if I'll hold up economic development. It's been going on for a year and a half, and I'll tell you what this is. This is a witch hunt. This is it's funny?
Yes.
It's funny. Is your reputation on the line? Have you been called underhanded? I have. So just
wait a minute.
No, we're not going to wait a minute.
You're not going to speak to me in that manner. You are not going to speak to me in that manner. You are not going to speak to me in that manner. You are not.
You can also be removed from this chamber.
And so can you.
Can you give us 1 week?
Yes, give us a week. That's all I'm asking. Next Friday, you said, Felicia?
All I'm asking the city council is help me understand what I'm giving you all time for, because to me this whole thing is so foggy, and there's 1 week. So let's say, for example, Ms. Davis, can you bear with me?
Gotcha.
Let's just say that the state attorney general comes back and says, well, Bob Corley should have been involved in 50% of this, and Cox was okay for 50%. Well, what is that going to mean to the transaction? Then are we going to hold it up and?
No, that's not what it is. No. It will be that we will know that any transactions done by the city, he will be present representing the city. That's what it'll do. And all we ask you for is a week, and we can meet back. Next Friday, we can meet back.
Okay.
Is that all right?
The only thing that I just want to be clear on is because in my life experience, I found often when these things like this happen, if it's not clear what the goal is, then these things can go on. And like for me, I just want to make a business.
This is not going to go on.
Okay. Right.
Councilwoman Wilson.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Not necessarily for you.
Okay.
In fact, I remember the meeting when you all were here. And tonight, if I have the correct ordinance, we've already had the first reading. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the holdup for the second reading? That's, I don't understand. I'm sorry, I'm council member.
In law.
And today, according to the agenda, we're here for the second reading to put something in place that we didn't necessarily have. I don't see the point in waiting.
I don't either.
Now that's where I stand. I don't see the point in moving forward. We're putting something in place so that in the event it does not happen again. Personally, I'm sorry that you have to be subjected to this.
Me too.
This is something that should have been
done correctly,
ironed out without you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I apologize. I really do. You should not have been subjected to this.
No.
And I'll say it again.
That's what we all say.
We agreed to the first reading. What's the holdup from having the second reading tonight? And I don't need an answer.
Well, I can give you one. I wasn't here.
An answer.
Well, I'm not talking to you, then you can close your ears. I was not here. But this understanding here is saying for us to ratify the sale of. And the only thing I still say, I need an opinion, and this does not even concern you. And I'm not trying to hold up a sale.
No.
On the property.
No.
But like I said again, anytime we sell property, our lawyer should be involved, And city council should be at the round table discussing it before it's done. That's all I'm saying.
Go ahead, Councilwoman Sanders.
I am so sorry this has happened. I think Carolyn's right. We need to go ahead and vote on this thing tonight. We also need not to get them involved in this. They had nothing to do with this.
I know.
Absolutely nothing. We need to get the opinion and then make sure this never happens again when we get the opinion from Columbia. But we need to go on and vote on this tonight. We are holding this company up. It's costing them money.
Well, this should have been brought before.
Well, it wasn't. It was a mess. So, let's get it on a vote. I'm going to vote for it to go on with them because we need the employee.
Of course,
I concur with
jobs here.
100%.
Would you make that in the form of a motion, please?
I don't want nobody to misunderstand me that I don't want you here. When we did the first reading, I was not even aware of all the information I got now. Mr. Corley came to us and we met. And I thought it was going to stay in executive sessions until we had it finalized. My question was, why would it even be on the agenda tonight, knowing that we had not resolved it?
Because we had a first reading.
We have not resolved it since the first reading.
Mayor, get this thing up to a vote or this is going to last all night long.
Would you make a motion, please?
I make a motion.
I second.
I have a motion and a second, and we've had plenty of discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, let's do it another way, just to make sure. All in favor signify by raising your right hand, and would you take a count, please, Madam Clerk? Okay. All opposed, like sign.
And then for the record, I'm not opposing the fact that we want economic development. I'm opposing the fact that we have a mayor that's decided that he's in charge of the city without confronting the council on what's going on. That's my problem. And that's all I had asked you for, is to give us time to get this resolved. And it's not just about that. Finances are involved in this too. So since we want to share everything, finances are involved in this also.
Let the record...
In what? What kind of finances?
Felicia, let the records reflect that I did not oppose it.
No.
But I was opposed to the process. That I'm not opposing economic development. It was just the process that was used.
So when you go out, make sure, and I want it written just like that, when you go out, please don't let them tell nobody, I don't want you here. We got some issues in the city that we need to resolve. And if we keep doing things without the council working together, then we're gonna have this problem again. And there is something else getting ready to come up.
I'm very grateful to the entire council. I'm particularly grateful to Councilwoman Wilson and Councilwoman Sanders and Councilwoman Davis and Councilwoman Foot. Thank you very much, Mayor. Folks, I am thrilled to be here, and I'm thrilled to the opportunity to do jobs. I'm sorry that this thing is messy, but Councilwoman Davis and Councilwoman Wilson, I hope that you will be thrilled in a year that we didn't hold this thing up. Council, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
I'm thrilled. I'm just, we got to get this resolved. We have a lawyer.
All right, he's not involved in
That's right.
No, you're not involved in this.
Yes, he should have.
Yeah, shouldn't have been.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Committee reports.
I had a question.
Councilman Kitchen.
Kitchen.
All right, ask a question.
I'll wait until Mr. Kitchen speaks.
Okay, we had a finance meeting that was concerned with whether we should attend the U.S. Urban Association in El Paso, and we met on the 19th, and I'd asked Holly to come in and sort of give us any updates we might need on our finances, and of course we were aware from a meeting we had a few months ago that our finances are not exactly what they should have been, and so we decided, and we discussed it, and Councilman Woodbury had said that he thought it was a very bad idea after we discussed it some, and I was in agreement because of our finances and because it was going to be about $10,000 for three of us to go. And also, there was some money that was supposed to be coming in from the county that some people had thought maybe that could help, but that money did not develop. We never got that $16,000, $17,000, or $18,000 that we thought we might be getting from the county. So we said, and all the members of the Finance Committee concurred, that we needed to wait to see our finances next year, and if we felt that our finances were in good standing, when we made a budget, that we would budget for this particular U.S. Urban Association, wherever it would be next year.
Okay, that's another question. I attended the meeting in July at the state meeting, and we talked about what Mr. Kitchen is talking about, and I asked to go at that time. It was one person. And I asked the question, did we have enough money in the budget? And he said yes. Now, everybody want to go. And we don't have enough money for everybody. So this is a new law now that if the trips come up and one person want to go, and if everybody don't go, then we can't go. I still would like permission to go. We don't have $3,000 for me to go.
You have to take it out of somewhere. I mean, if we can find it.
I would still like to go because I did ask. The question came up after I asked, and then y'all decided, well, everybody can go. But prior to that, it was just me, and we had enough at that time for one person to go.
Two members of the Finance Committee are presently here, and we think it is not a good idea to be setting the precedent of letting one person, when several may want to go, and say, all right, we'll let this person go and not this person. So, there was not three people wanted to go, had an interest in going, and so that would be about $9,000 to $10,000.
I repeat, I asked, did we have money in July? Could I go? We had the money. Since then, several other members have asked to go. We don't have enough for everybody to go. Please explain to me why one can't go. Not when the finance department that makes that decision. Is it an ordinance, a law that says that one person can't go? Is that what we're saying? If everybody don't go? Because I'm most certain it's going to come some other trips that I might not want to go. So now what do I do? Put down that I want to go, and if
well, Councilwoman, we have different committees, and you're on several committees. And it was a decision of the Finance Committee, and two of us are
that
here.
If all can't go, one can't go.
That's basically correct. That's basically correct. Because there may be other instances and that could get into a lot of money. One person going to this and one person. So we thought it would be fair when we have the money, when we have the finances.
I think y'all knew that before then. Really? And just decided.
Moving right along.
You're going to make it that way. So I know now. That's what you wanted.
Moving right along.
Moving right along.
You finished with your report.
It's not what I wanted. It was the consensus of the Finance Committee.
I haven't changed my thought.
Good.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
No, down here in the comments section I have. So I'd like to address something, and this is important.
Sure.
Okay, about the burning. Can we not do an ordinance for no burning in the city limits, because you have some areas where you have it, and there are other areas where you don't have it. And I've had lots of people complaining about the burning.
Because it stinks.
And it affects their health. And I'd like for us to come up with an ordinance for no burning in the city limits. No, in certain areas.
Not for the entire city.
Oh, and we need it for the entire city.
Okay. We had it for certain areas?
Yeah, certain areas. But you can get it for the entire city. I know that for a fact. We need a no burning ordinance in the city of Mullins. Chief?
Chief, what do you think?
Can I comment?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello.
We started hatching this thing out a couple months ago. We had some people that were complaining of their conditions. I contacted 5 different municipalities and I got ordinances in here. I talked to the mayor and administrator about the possibility. The only way that a lot of these folks were complaining, when we go check it out, they're burning yard debris. They're not burning shingles or anything toxic. We can't get a police department around there write a ticket if they're not violating the ordinance. Unless it is a condition that's not favorable for burning them. So what we were going to do was take these ordinances, look at them, hatch it up, cut and paste, and make something that fits us to bring in front of the fire committee and then eventually the council, where we could get something initiated to where we could look at. It would tickle me if we would enact no burning in the city.
Okay, well, that's fine with me. I'll wait till you all, till our committee meet.
We started that.
And we can come up, okay.
Some ordinances in there. We got to look at them and cut and paste and come up with a final edition.
Okay.
Something favorable.
Thank you, that's fine with me. Anybody else have any questions concerning that matter? Thank you, sir. That's good,
because that's a good question I've been asked about burning.
Park Street, there's a tree over there that is dropping huge limbs. We haven't had an arborist around here since the administrator got fired for tearing down the trees. For cutting down trees.
Where on Park Street? Where on Park Street, the tree? Clean up the streets, parking what?
Help me here.
Because I'm trying to think it's the same tree I'm talking about.
Oh God, what's her name?
James and Dixon?
Park and Mullins? No, I mean Church Street.
Further up.
Further down.
It's a big house on the left, on the corner.
Yeah.
I thought we cut that tree down.
Dogwood and Park.
Dogwood and Park.
Must be Dogwood and Park.
The Bain House.
Dogwood and Park.
Don Bain.
Did we address that one time?
Well, I was there 2 days ago and looked, and they're right. There's huge limbs falling out of that tree. It needs to be trimmed. We need to get an arborist back in town.
She's out of Conway.
Yeah, I think she came one time to look at another
She
tree
did.
on Park Street.
Yeah, I thought it was the other tree, the CO house, the tree in front of the CO house. That's right.
Yeah, that's that
She
right.
was. Yeah, you cut it down.
Get her up here, Holly, and see what we're going to... Yeah, Robert.
Just to add to that, briefly, we ran into the same thing. Taurus and I worked on this a couple weeks ago on the corner of Marion and Main, the Mike Tompkins house. He's got a situation. We had the state in here and independent contractor. The front of the tree is on the property, but the limbs are falling in the right of way. DOT said that they didn't want to cut it. It's in their right of way. They gave the city. I'm talking partner on the parks and they said that we had their permission to cut the limbs that were overhanging on the public right of way. But the rest of it will be forbidden.
Okay.
When we looked at the tree, if you cut all the limbs that's on the right of way, then the weight is going to be facing the house. And the tree is already hollow on the inside. So what we would actually be doing, and here I was working on this, was if we go and cut that and make the right of way safe, and then the tree falls on the house, are we going to be liable? So long story short, we need to determine, and I can get the cars, and we can go look at one at the main house and see if one of that tree is on an individual property or
Michael Hayes.
We can get it here, and if it's partially on his property, we need to be mindful of how we address it, because by trying to fix one problem, we're going, from what they're telling us about the day, we're going to possibly cause another.
Holly, let's call Joey McCutcheon with Duke and let her come and see if they can't do it and cut them for us at no charge. At least let her, she's an arborist, and it won't cost us anything.
And Holly, if you're going to do that one, then we have another one similar to what he's talking about on Mullins Street. I think it's 415, but I'll make sure I give you the right address. The power line is inside of the tree.
No, they've cut it.
Well, Well, when she's here, Bo, why can't we just let her look at anything?
She will.
Get with Taurus and Robert and check any of these.
Yeah.
Because if y'all remember, and this
Years ago, I remember.
When the tree fell, the city got sued.
That's
And
right.
we'll get sued again.
And we'll get sued again if a gentleman was killed when that tree fell.
Exactly
Is that
right.
in front of the Bain, over there?
No, it was
No,
Main
it's
Street.
on Main Street.
Main Street.
It's one of my best friend's daddy. Yeah.
So they need to check out
That
several.
wasn't built up at Bill Moore's place?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Felicia,
All right, any,
give that back to you.
and the lights are up on Main Street, the new, LED lights are up on Main Street, and they've got a few more to go, but it sure is brighter, and I think a whole lot more safer.
So when will we start on the other streets? Are we just doing Main Street and 76 Highway?
East, west, north, south, from city limit to start with, and then we'll start going into neighborhoods when we get money. We have to budget for it. This was about $5,000 to trade those out that we traded out.
One more question before we get out of here. What's happened with the Belts building?
Who knows? The owner was supposed to come down and meet, and it's been bounced all over the place. I don't know who's even. I understand the people from the barn are involved in it now, but I think we need to take action and make something happen there.
We've been saying this for 2 years.
Yep.
Whenever.
I can tell you who wants it.
Who?
Anderson Brothers Bank wants to take it and make something decent out of it.
Hey.
Let them have it.
But we need to condemn it.
Well, what are we waiting on?
What do we have to do?
I think we should. I think we
What
should
do we
condemn
What do we
it.
have to do? What do we have to do, Holly?
Put the bank together.
Oh, they got to condemn it. The fire department condemns it?
We can get the county to do it, and I think he probably got the authority to do it since the city adopted the property maintenance.
I don't think the owner thinks we're gonna do anything about it, but we have been dealing with this for 5+ years.
Go ahead.
And the last couple of years especially.
Yeah, let the county condemn it.
Over the record, there was a condemnation that was put on it years ago when we first started with the county.
Well, Can we,
Condemnation notice follows it, no matter the property sold or not.
Okay.
Condemnation will follow the building until we've had issue after issue, all kind of
It's scary.
going on Main Street and run.
He plans on doing anything with it, he plans on jerking us around.
They go back
Well,
there.
can't.
You've been jerking around enough.
Board it up and go in and do like they want.
You won't be.
Well, can the county condemn it again?
Yeah, we can.
Would it happen to do
It
it?
doesn't need to be condemned again, does it, Robert?
We can do it again, and if we have.
He was a different owner, but
Let the bank get it.
Oh, they want to do something beautiful with it.
Go back to the county and dig up the original condemnation order and bring it back to the.
All right, who put the original condemnation order in there? Was it Eddie?
okay.
Well,
Those records, I tried to find something about, and you can't find
Chief, will
anything.
you start on that tomorrow?
Yeah.
Just,
that's good. Because it's a big eyesore.
Process of condemning another building Thursday morning as well, so I got all the players up here.
Yeah.
Go through the
Yeah.
city. I'm serious. I'm very serious about that. If you're gonna condemn that building, you need to go through the city and handle business.
That was a question I was going to ask you, Holly. Didn't we talk with Lynn in reference to if they don't volunteer for us to let them tear those abandoned houses down, that there's another way we can go with condemning them? Yeah.
You got 2 buildings right down the street.
So I guess
That is the God's truth that I've
2 buildings right there down the street.
Yeah.
25 years.
not only the buildings but the houses too.
Yeah.
No.